Ahead and get started. First of all, I'm just so thankful that you guys can't see my screen, correct? Yes, thank you. Wanted to make sure. I am so thankful that you guys did choose to show up tonight, and take time out of your evening. My name is Micaiah Wallace. I am the founder of the Inspired Collective, a marketing agency focusing on helping ag businesses, specifically those in the spray drone industry, grow and build their brand through tailored marketing strategy. So I am so excited that you're here tonight. I know you all are going to come away with something that you can take back for your business, to your team, and it's really going to be something that you can implement tomorrow. These concepts um, are going to be things that you can take and grow. And I also really want to commend you all for showing up tonight because I know as like business owners, you guys are busy right now. And so just kudos to you guys for showing up and taking time to invest in your businesses. And also, thank you to everyone who graciously allowed me to reschedule, because last week at this time, it was not a good time for me. And I talked to several others of you, like half a dozen of you guys were also sick. So fingers crossed, people get better because it's rough times out there right now. Um, so here's how tonight's gonna go. We're gonna start off with introductions. Then we're gonna jump into the more of like the meat and potatoes of this. And so we're gonna talk through why marketing matters, defining your target market, website 101, building a strong brand, the role of social media in engaging your audience, and then also maximizing the impact of events. So we're gonna wrap up with Q&A. And before that, I'll give you a few action items, but I really want to leave about 20 to 25 minutes for Q&A, just so you guys can get your questions answered. All right, so about me, my name is Micaiah Wallace. I founded the Inspired Collective in January of 2025. So this is a new endeavor for me. So how did I get here? So I grew up in a small town in central Missouri, and I was always ag adjacent. I was not in the ag industry. I was interested in FFA. My parents lived on a hobby farm, so I was familiar, but I wasn't in the industry. But one night in grad school, I was feeling incredibly poor, and I found a job with one of the largest co-ops in the Midwest, and it was a project manager position between the communications team and the leadership team for the co-op. And so I took that position and I got immersed in the ag industry. I was there for 3 years, and when I left, I was leading the internal communications platform, and I had around 1,600 employees who I got to create content for and engage with throughout then. But after that, I wanted to change, and so I went to AgriSpray Drones in October of 2023, and it was a great opportunity. I was the marketing manager there, and I like to say I was in charge of the three C's, so content, channel, and creative marketing. So if you saw any social media, email, paid ads, one pagers or sell sheets, and then any guide that you would have got, like starting your own marketing or starting your own spray drone business, marketing your spray drone business. Those were things that I created. And while I was at AgriSpray, I committed the cardinal sin I swore I would never do. And I fell in love with a guy from work. And we got engaged, and we were quickly like, we can't do this because we are both workaholics and this is not healthy. So I resigned to pursue my dream of starting my business. Some other things about me, I am a proud cat mom to Millie, who lives with her grandparents because I am not allowed to have pets in my rental. We're currently renovating our house, so we're doing a lot of renovations, but I always wish I was working on crafts because I'm a huge crafter. So now we're going to jump into more of the content part of tonight's webinar. So marketing foundations, what you need to know. There are a few things that I really want you guys to get in your brain before we even start this. The first one is CTA, call to action. What does that mean? So it's the whenever you direct users to do something. So learn more, get a quote. You can have register for this webinar, sign up to see the drone in action, schedule a demo. There are a lot of different things that you can do with your call to action. Next is ChatGPT. If you're not familiar with ChatGPT, it is an AI module that will help you refine, in this instance, content, strategy, marketing things, really give you a lot of ideas. Next is Canva. Canva is a graphic design amazing program where anyone who is a designer or not a designer can walk in and create beautiful designs that look like a professional made them. I do want to plug Canva is free, but they do have paid memberships that are $15 a month. And that it honestly opens up your window. So if you can afford that, I highly recommend getting on Canva for the $15 a month. And then lastly, we have Meta Business Suite. Meta Business Suite comprises of Facebook and Instagram. So they're both owned by Meta. So having those, it allows you to easily schedule content, see analytics, check your messages. And yes, I am glad that people do love ChatGPT. I will plug that one. I've also heard good things about Claude. So next, we want to get into why does marketing matter for spray drone businesses? So, marketing is really going to help you build those long-term relationships. It's going to set the groundwork whenever you have customers that are new, hotter leads, warming them up. You take them through the sale, and then you can market to them and re-engage with them after the sale. It also is going to help you stand out in a competitive market because the business is getting more and more competitive as it goes on, which is amazing that we're getting more services. But marketing is also going to help you stand out as an expert just because it's going to bring you out and really differentiate you from the competition. Also, it's going to help position you as a trusted partner in the spray drone industry, getting your name out there and really building your brand. So marketing also really helps establish brand awareness in the spray drone community. Communicate your value proposition, which we're going to talk a little bit more about later. And then it's also going to help you drive consistent growth. So next, I really want to dive into target markets. Know who you're talking to because you can say you want to target farmers, but what farmers do you really want to target? Because technically, my dad and his hobby farm is classified as a farmer according to the USDA. However, he's not the farmer we want to target. So how can we really focus in on our niche market? And why does it matter? So why we want to define our target market? It's going to prevent wasted marketing efforts because you're going to be able to tailor your content to the people who matter. While there are thousands of farmers in your area, there are a handful that really are going to be the people that you want to target. And next, it's going to ensure that you have relevant messages for that target market. So it's going to resonate with them and lead to better conversion. So I have a couple of audience segments I want us to consider. And I know a couple of you are drone dealers and others are custom applicators. So take this with a grain of salt as to which one applies to you. The first is farmers. These are going to be our primary end users, and they're going to be focused like on the efficiency and the cost savings. But within that, there are different kinds of farmers that we need to learn that we're talking to, and they all have different motivations. Some farmers are going to be really focused on ROI. Others are going to be focused on the latest and greatest tech. So we really want to make sure that we are targeting our message to the right segment. Next is the ag service providers. So these are the businesses that offer crop spraying, such as your local co-op. And these are going to differ very greatly. However, this is also an important segment when you're marketing to keep in mind. Next is your ag tech enthusiasts. And I think this really applies to both our operators and our dealers. And so these people are going to be more passionate about adopting early technology. They're going to be influenced by the latest and greatest. And whether they're looking to start a drone or get their acres sprayed, start a drone business or get their acres sprayed, they're going to be the ones that are on the cutting edge for technology to target. And next are individuals who are looking to escape the 9 to 5. This is a group I saw a lot during my time at AgriSpray. They wanted to get back to the family farm, but they needed a source of revenue to do so. And the drone business gave them a way to get back in. And so they're a great person for dealers to target. So next, I want to dive into, we're going to go back a slide. Sorry, I'm very new to this. Some some other things to keep in mind with them and your considerations. Pain points. So for some people, pain points are going to be like the cost of spraying is really high to get that aerial applicator in, or they don't want to wait on the aerial applicator. They might not be able to get a ground rig in because it's super wet. This is when drones can come in and be a great tool to push in using that. Next is behavior. Like, where does your audience spend their time? Social media, the co-op, trade shows. Figure out where they are so you can change your marketing strategy to meet them. Next is location, knowing where they're at because it is going to differ. You know your area, but I know some of you guys cover 4 to 5 states. So knowing the marketing in that area and what your customers are like is important. Now we're going to dive into creating a compelling value proposition. And this is really the why should they choose you? This is the promise that your business brings value and your business is the best solution for this individual. So, some things to keep in mind when crafting your value proposition. It's going to sound similar to your mission statement. Who are your customers? Farmers, ag service providers, etc. What problems do they need solving? Is it the high spraying costs, inefficiencies, lack of precision? Get that information and figure out how your business solves. And then next, figure out what makes your services unique. Is it because you are veteran owned and operated? You do have the latest and greatest drone. You spent years as an agronomist, and so you really do have that agronomy background. An example that I put is we help farmers reduce spraying costs and increase efficiency with cutting edge drone technology. For my business, the Inspired Collective, I help those in the ag industry, specifically the spray drone sector, grow and market their business through tailored marketing strategies. And then whenever I think about what makes my services unique, okay, I have a year and a half of experience in the marketing spray drones for one of the largest companies. I am working on my digital marketing certification, which gives me additional knowledge. So you can plug all of these things in and help create that value proposition for your customers. So next, I really want to dive into branding. And whenever I think of branding, I know a lot of people think of logos. So this is whenever, if you feel so inclined, to put some logos in the chat that you know and you love. Okay. Some of them that I know that always come to mind whenever I give this presentation is Nike, the swoosh, Target, you have your red dot, Walmart, Save Money, Live Better. These are their logos, but there's so much more to their brand. Like whenever you think of Bass Pro, you think of outdoors, education. So your logo is just a piece of your brand. Your brand reflects your company's values and it's going to build trust with your customers. It also creates recognition, which leads to stronger relationships, and it's going to create trust. So I want to take some time to jump into key branding elements. The first is the tried and true, the logo. But I know that I've seen in Facebook groups, several of you are like, I don't know how to I don't know how to make a logo. What do I need to do? And so I want to offer some helpful tips for your logo. We already mentioned Canva. Canva is cheap and affordable if you don't have the route to go with a professional. If you go on Canva, they have templates you can use and you can make your logo that way. Some really practical things with this. I want you to think about sizing because you might have your logo on a billboard, which is gigantic, but it also might be on a business card, which is really small. It might be on a polo embroidered, or you might have it like at a webinar up in the corner. So I want you to think about sizing because if you get a lot of little fine details, it's not going to print well whenever you go to get it embroidered. So I want you to think through that. And also, color palette is super, super important because you guys are in the ag industry. You obviously are not going to use super wild colors that don't fit the ag industry. Some colors that are pretty solid are like the earthy greens and blues in the spray drone industry, like lime green, black, gray. Orange is also a good one. Yeah, so having those and keeping within that color palette and applying it on everything you do to keep continuously building that brand. This is also where Canva is great because if you have the paid plan, you can put your colors in there and your logo, and you can just brandify everything super, super simply. Next is font. Fonts are the best and the worst because you can have a really, really cool font that is intricate, but it might not translate well whenever you have it on your website on mobile, or it might not be very great for having it as a header on a brochure. You need to think about that with your font. I recommend using a simple serif or sans serif font for your body of anything. So like you can see in my logo, the Inspired Collective around the circle, that's just a simple font that I use for everything. Some people, I have a client who's more in like the home decor industry. She does have more of a scripty font that we just use for headings and like titles. Because you want something that's going to be easy to read and eye-catching. And then lastly, we have voice. Voice encompasses how you talk and the tone and personality you have. Because some people want to be sassy and sarcastic. Others want to be professional and lead with knowledge. I think a really good example of this is Valent. It's a chemical company, and theirs is the trusted advisor. And so they are going to be one step ahead of you, holding your hand, pulling you along, and keeping you up with the best knowledge. And I think that's just a great brand voice. Some other important elements in branding and why it matters is it is going to help you in the long run because people are going to see your brand, recognize it, and associate that with you. And depending on your brand voice, it can be a positive or negative interaction. And you can really set it to be important and last for you. And then next, it's going to establish the trust and credibility. The longer you have your business, the better you do with really pushing with your customers and having just a good relationship. Your brand is going to continue to grow more and more. And it's really going to position you as a trusted advisor or an industry leader. Right. So next, whenever I think most people think of marketing, they think of social media. So we are finally to that part of our webinar. So the role of engaging social media with your audience. Social media, why it matters. It is going to expand your reach and it's going to give you a larger audience for a cheaper price tag. Because I know we can do a lot of paid marketing, but social media typically is a free or low cost marketing activity. It also is going to create a more personalized connection with your audience. And so you're going to be able to comment and engage with them. You can comment on their post, they can comment on your post. You guys know the gist. You probably found this webinar because of social media. Um, so when we look at social media, it also is going to build brand awareness just because it's going to have those regular touch points with your audience. So the age-old question I get, which platform do I use? And I say, it depends on your business. So I'm going to walk you through this as if you were a typical, spray drone dealer or custom applicator. Facebook is the tried and true. Most of us were on Facebook before we were on any other social media platform, unless you were on like MySpace. But for Facebook, this is something that I want you to think about as a community engagement. This is great for community building and product promotion. And Facebook is also probably going to be where most of your decision makers are. It's more likely that your decision maker is on Facebook than he is on Instagram. Facebook is also a great way to incorporate the Meta Business Suite, as we talked about first, because Facebook and Instagram are both under Meta Business Suite. So you can create posts under Meta Business Suite and cross-post them to Facebook and Instagram. So it saves you time. Facebook also gives you the opportunity to engage with different groups. So you can position yourself either as your business or as your personal profile in different spray drum groups. Next, we have Instagram. So this is part of Meta. But Instagram is better for the more visual aspects, so showing drone shots, really cool videos. I recommend it for that for sure. If you were to ask me, Micaiah, I picking one social media platform, which one am I on? I wouldn't recommend Instagram, but I would recommend Facebook. But you can use Meta Business Suite to post on both. So if it's important to you to have multiple accounts, post on Meta Business Suite for Facebook and Instagram. Next, we have LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is definitely a special case for this industry that I found. It helps you connect with industry professionals and position you more as like the knowledge expert leader within the professional field. And so I don't have many clients I push to LinkedIn first. There are a few select cases, and some of those are more of my B2B clients that are looking to connect more with CEOs and more of the larger business managers. Like I had a client today that I talked with, and we opted to go with LinkedIn over Facebook because of their need to connect with larger C-suite individuals. Um, so LinkedIn, I'm going to say, don't go for it unless you just really want to, or you have like a specific use case. Next, we have YouTube, and YouTube is so fun for the ag drone space because you can share in-depth tutorials, product demos, and case studies. And we all know that YouTube has definitely been brought to light by like Drone Deer Recovery. They post great videos. Mike does a really good job in his team, but I would question you, is YouTube the best for you? There are a few questions I want to ask. Do you have the time to record? Do you have the time to record quality-ish videos? Do you have the time to then edit those videos, to then post them and optimize them? I'm going to say probably not because you are busy as a business owner. I do have some clients who do the filming themselves and then we edit for them. But I would say this is probably not the best use of your time if you're looking to get the most bang for your buck, the most time ROI. But if you do enjoy the video side of things more, this is where TikTok can definitely play into your marketing strategy because TikTok is just fun. You can share short clips. We did it for AgriSpray and positioned it more as a humor account, and it definitely took off. And then also I know that there's several guys in the spray drone community that do have great TikToks that share more of the day in the life type of content and just spraying. So that is my take on platforms. I recommend you start with one first and then grow from there. So next though, what do we post? So whenever we look at content, I think there's like 5 main categories that we can post about. The first is educational content. So features of the P100 Pro, flight speed, swath width, really sharing the education behind it so people know this is legit. I can trust them to do my spraying. Seth Arnold with Arnold Precision did a great example of some bushels between, I think it was on soybeans that he did ground rig, aerial, and a drone. And that was great educational content and really showed the value of his spraying services. Next is behind the scenes. We love these because they show us what you guys do behind the scenes, whether you are repairing a drone or going out and spraying. These really do humanize and put life behind you all and your businesses and definitely build your brand as just you being people. Next, we have user generated, and this is content that people post and tag you in. So if you go out and spray for someone and they post that you did a great job and they love it and they're very happy, repost that, share it, comment, because that is easy content to share. And it makes your brand look more credible because someone else said it about you. You didn't say it about yourself. Next would be industry news. So an example of this that I think of is with the Countering CCP Act that happened over the summer. There was a lot of opportunity to share this and to promote more trust and less fear by sharing like, hey, this is happening. We want to make you aware of this. However, there are options that we can take. Go contact your representative. We know that spray drones are very helpful and we want you to share your story. Next are event updates. So for example, end user conference is next week. Okay, that's great, but how can we promote that? We can promote it in Facebook groups. We can share about it on our own personal pages or our business page. So that is the content that you can share. If you follow along with me, I will be putting out some free resources in the future. And one of them that I'm so excited to share is my content calendar that I use. I plan everything out in Google Sheets and yeah, follow along for my website because that is a resource that I'm so excited to share with you guys. Next, I want to go into metrics to track, and we're going to keep this short and simple because you guys are business people. You are not marketers who want to just sit and track analytics all day. Engagement rate and impressions. Engagement rate is going to be who engaged with your content, and then impressions is how many people saw it. So just keep track of those. Don't worry about them, but keep it in mind. And next, we have our tools. Canva, which we talked about, is for graphic design, and you can create professional graphics and videos that way. Next, we have ChatGPT. So I highly, highly, highly recommend going in and brainstorming. Okay, I want to talk about the T50. I want to mention this feature. I want to talk about how I went out and sprayed this field. I also want to mention this event I have and brainstorm. Okay, I need a content calendar. Can you help me fill in the blanks here? I do not use ChatGPT for my captions, but I know several people do just because it does save time. I do run things through ChatGPT just to make sure like things make sense. However, I don't use it for everything. But if you do choose to use ChatGPT as part of your marketing mix, I do recommend being mindful of a few things, and the main one would be emojis, just because there are a few emojis that you can tell do not resonate with our audience. ChatGPT loves sparkly emojis. Those are not going to resonate with our audience at all. So I typically just ask them to throw the emojis out. The second one would be tractor emojis, which are fine, but it's just kind of a dead giveaway that it's not written by a human. And then the last one is the green plant emoji. I typically try to avoid that one just because it's pretty fluffy. So just be mindful of that. But ChatGPT is great to save time. And then next is Meta Business Suite. Rick, I'm very sorry you feel personally attacked. Meta Business Suite is great for bulking your content. So you can go in and post. I recommend people post like 1 month at a time. You can sit down, take an afternoon, make your graphics, make your captions, and then go through Meta Business Suite and just post everything. And it's going to save you time because you will not have to worry about it later. And that is a huge, huge relief. That's what I do with clients. We meet every month and we'll talk through things for the next month. And then I post it, and I don't worry about it. And then we do the same thing the next month. And there are times whenever something comes up where I need to quickly post something or pivot a post that we had posted, like if it was a weather post. But you can book most things out in advance because there are content that's going to last and be long lasting. All right. So next, I want to talk about events. And I will keep this short and sweet because I'm an introvert. I don't love events. They kind of wear me out, but they are super, super useful for getting your business out there. So events are great whenever it comes to really establishing yourself and your credibility, because while social media is good for building that behind the scenes, events give you the opportunity to get in front of your audience and really get that hands-on experience and time with them. It also gives you the opportunity to fly the drone for them in person. They can see, they can feel, they can hear. It allows them to use all their senses to really make up their mind about the drone. Some event success tips are to set goals. So if you want to do it for lead generation, if you want to go and sell, if you want to do it just for brand awareness, know that and be prepared for that, because you need to prepare behind the scenes so you can have a successful event. So whether that is making sure all your marketing material is printed and ready to go, you have your sell sheets, your business cards, you have been promoting it on social media, make sure that that is happening so you'll have the awareness, but also the preparation to be there. And lastly, I want to talk a bit about leads at events. So there are a few things that I have noticed at farm shows that I just want to take note of. And this is not a point out, but this is just an observation. You can go and you can hand someone your business card and you can say, hey, call me and we can talk. Or you can say, can I get your information? Let me take that, write it down, and then you can follow up with them. One of them lets you be reactive, the other lets you be proactive. And odds are, unless it's a really hot lead, most people aren't going to call you, but you can warm them up and talk to them as you reach out and really build that relationship. And there are a few ways that you can collect leads. The first is you can do the pen and paper method. I don't do that because I lose things easily. So I typically have things online. If it's really casual, just in the notes section of my phone. But you can also do like a Google form and it'll automatically pull it into Google Sheets. So you have their information, and you don't have to go track it down later. Also encourage you to definitely follow up after events just to keep that lead hot. So next is a website, and this will not apply to everyone. However, it is very important for some of you guys. So we're just going to run through this real quick. So what makes a great website? So websites are going to build trust and credibility. It's really the foundation of your online presence because your social media is going to be directing from there. Next, for lead generation, you can get leads from your website, whether that is having a form or your phone number or your email. You can get leads that way. And then next, you're going to be able to showcase your products and your services clearly. And also testimonials. If you can get people to say nice things about you, show it off and let them know. So what makes an effective website? Branding. We talked about branding. Tie it into your website and really just have it be another extension of your brand. Having easy navigation and design that is responsive to both mobile and desktop. Um, Also having strong call to actions and engaging content. So we talked about call to actions. Get a quote. That's a big one that you can use. I also want to talk about real quick SEO. I'm not an SEO expert. I have dabbled in it, but that's it. But some things that you can do right now that are so handy is you can take your content that you wrote for your website and put it into ChatGPT and ask it, optimize for spray drone businesses in Indiana, optimize for custom application services in Ohio. And you can do that, and it's not foolproof. SEO is constantly changing, but this can help you. And SEO is also your ranking in the search engine. One thing I also want to point out today, I was talking to a friend who works in the business. Make sure you have a privacy policy. That's going to help you as well with SEO. And it's really easy. You can Google it. But that's going to be something to keep in mind is having a privacy policy, which doesn't have to be fancy. Just have it on there because search engines do read it. So we're going to wrap this up with the presentation part of the evening. But first, I want to say some things that really matter in marketing: strategic planning, branding, content, engagement. Talk to people, have your brand be strong across the platforms. And you don't have to be the most strategic planner, but just plan out a bit to where you're being more offense and less defense. Next, continuously measure and adjust your marketing. This does not have to be you have a spreadsheet of analytics, but just see, okay, this post got like 3 likes and I talked about this. However, when I shared a video, my likes tripled. I got a lot more engagement. So keep that in mind. And next, stay adaptable to connect with your audience. This industry is constantly changing, so make sure that you are keeping up to date with that. So this leads us to next steps. You are probably somewhere on this spectrum. The first is you are highly confident and you are considering leaving your spray drone career and becoming a marketer. My next steps for you are just to follow along for additional resources. I'll be posting these on my website, my email list. You guys will be the first to know. And so these will be super helpful and handy, and I'm excited to share with you. Next, if you are somewhere in the middle, you're hopeful, you think you can do marketing, but you need a little bit more help, enroll in my spray drone marketing cohort. And lastly, if you are terrified out of your mind and you are crying of fear, the Inspired Collective is here to help you. I would love to take marketing off your hands. I enjoy it. And I know not everyone does, nor do you have the time for it. So that is always an option. Like I mentioned, the spray drone marketing cohort. This is for people who are really struggling with how to market their business. They want to do it themselves, but they don't know how. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have 5 weeks where we're going to sit down in a small cohort of 5 people, and we're going to talk through each of the topics we talked about tonight: marketing foundations, materials and branding, website, social media, trade shows. And we're going to spend 60 minutes talking about these so you can grow your business and really talk through with people that are um, just in the same stage as you and build relationships across the country. And this is 10% off through March 30th. So it's going to be $450, and that's for 5 sessions. And you will also receive follow-up information and PDFs after each session. So I really do want to equip you guys with the skills. Next is, if you're terrified, let me handle your marketing. Clients who book with me and sign their contract by April 6th will receive their first month of services free. So this can be several $1,000s depending on your package that you select. So I do want to plug this because this can be really helpful if you don't have the time or you're just terrified. And lastly, my last little announcement is the end user conference. I will be there on March 25th. I think I'm presenting at 4:30. Ask Rick for the actual time because I'm just showing up. Um, but I'm really excited to be a sponsor for this. I will be flying in, flying out really quick because our wedding is 2 weeks after that. But come and say hi, introduce yourself if you're there in person. And if not, watch our session online because there have been so many people who have worked incredibly hard to make this event happen, and it just keeps getting better and better. And I'm so proud of everyone who has invested in putting the event on and attending. So now that wraps up the presentation part of tonight, but I want to open it up for Q&A time. So you can put your comments in the chat, or you can, I think I can unmute you. So raise your hand if you want to talk, and I'm here to answer any and every question you have. Okay, we have a hand raised. Oh, Mary Thomas. Okay. Okay, Mary, you should be allowed to talk.
Hi there. I was just wondering if there was a web host or something like that. Sorry, I'm out at the farm helping my husband
Okay.
feed cattle. He kept to come over with the skid loader. Um, 1 second. Really bad timing. Um, a web host that you would recommend at an affordable cost. Is
Yeah.
there one that you have familiarity with, maybe, or that you've heard of people using?
Yes. So I use Squarespace for everything, and the hosting is all in that. And you can also get like your Google Business Suite through that as well. So I recommend Squarespace for everything. I
Okay,
believe
I've never heard
I
of that.
I can get you guys, I think I can get you a referral code. So
Uh-huh.
I'll put that in the email if I can, because I have several, like for Canva, I think I have referral codes as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I use Canva. Quite a bit of the stuff you
yeah.
talked about.
So Squarespace is super simple. If you have any sort of like, you can Google your way through it, but it's
Uh-huh.
super easy. I made my website through Squarespace, and
Okay.
so highly recommend.
Right,
Okay.
perfect. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And thanks for doing this. This has been great.
Yes. It's been so fun. Good luck feeding cows.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so Parker asked, what type of content works best in short form videos, like Reel and TikTok? What should I film? What works and what doesn't work? That's a great question. So this is honestly something where I think showing drones in action goes so far. Um, at AgriSpray, we had posted, it was just out back, just test flying, and it worked just really well, just showing the drone in action and what it can do. Also showing it spraying. Um, some other things that I love doing are like tech tips. So if you are more of the dealer, share some tips about what you can do, quick fixes before spray season starts. If you are more of a custom applicator, show a video of just like walking through and like this is what happens when you spot spray with a drone. This is what it is like. I know some of you guys are doing burn down. Walk us through that. It really does depend on it's a variety of factors. I can't give you a one size fits all answer. However, there are several different things, and that's just where it comes back to like testing and knowing your audience. All right. Tanner, what is reels about why you spray?
Like short videos of like why you're doing that application.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Is
that's
very
great.
interesting. I've seen them on TikTok, seen them on Instagram Reels. I find it interesting when guys want to go in depth about the job that they're doing, what the customer asks for. It's an insight to anyone that wants to get into the industry to what they can expect.
That is good.
And if you have any agronomy background,
Yeah.
we always get a lot of questions about agronomy and what people can expect, especially if you don't have a background in agronomy or agriculture. So if you have that background and you have this access to make reels or TikToks, that's one area where you'll have a niche and you'll automatically be interested by people.
Yeah, that's really true. And like if you have like if you are a CCA or have any sort of like agronomy training, that is a big marketing thing because I talk to a lot of people who are like, we aren't technically like we don't know much about farming, but we're getting into the spray drone industry. And that is great. Like there you can learn so much. But if you do have that knowledge on like chemical mixes and what to do when, definitely share that because that sets you apart and really positions you as that leader. All right. Okay, I'm ready for this very serious question. Would you like to raise your hand for this? What is my favorite kind of pie? So I am allergic to a ton of things. Dairy, gluten, corn, soy. It's great. So
I'm not though.
Tanner's not. So at our wedding, we're doing both types of desserts. But I do have a really good baker, so she makes good apple pie. So I have that sometimes. But yeah, that's a sore subject. Okay,
Michael Firestone asked a question about Parker.
Oh yeah, we talked about Squarespace being great for website. Okay, where do you find free images of spray drones? Erin, this is a sad, sad question. Because this is something that I definitely struggled with as I've started my business. So with this, there are not a ton of good resources that are either correct spray drones, because they are not either American or they like there are weeds in the field that like it's not a good looking field at all. So I have not found any free images of spray drones. Um, yes, that and I'm sorry for that. This is something I do want to plug Real Ag Stock. They have several images of spray drones. This is real life people. So they are in the ag industry. I know Jill Beringhouse, she might be on here still, shoots for them and she sells through Real Ag Stock. And so you can go on and they categorize it by season, need. And so this is Real Ag Stock, but they're a little bit more expensive. Another option is I have a good friend, Elise Lubering, Evergreen Marketing, and she also has some drone photos. So I'll get in contact with her and see if, because that's where I get my stock images from. But yeah, there's nothing great right now, but that is a good opportunity that I would like to explore for you guys. Tanner, if you want to pull up Elise's contact info, her email, and put it in the chat, that'd be great. Yes, and Jill can shoot mid-Missouri if they have their own. If you have your own drone, contact Jill. If you are outside of mid-Missouri,
Chat
Oh.
to everyone.
okay,
So
I'll plug Elise's. Okay, I'll plug Elise's in. Kyle will sell his drone pics for $500. Haha. Okay. Well, you have shared a lot of information. Are you going to share your service list? I think you may have to fill some gaps. Yes. Okay. So I will share my service list tomorrow. Whenever it comes to this, I will share. I do social, website, I'll help with events, marketing collateral. And if you do choose to use me for your marketing collateral, like I will get access to images. So if you have images, we'll collaborate together for that. I'll send out that tomorrow as well. So I'll put a lot of things in that information. I'm also seeing that there are some comments about a course, Purdue, an online agronomy certificate course. It's fairly inexpensive. Okay. Yes. All right. So do you guys have any more questions? Feel free to ask them, put them in the chat. Oh, Jordan has some pictures as well. I might take you up on that because that has been a struggle with having photographers. Okay. Purdue is $2,000 a course. Okay. So I want to say thank you so much for your time tonight, guys. I truly do appreciate it, and I hope that you all were able to walk away with something. I'm going to go ahead and get off here, but tomorrow I will be sending a recap email with Canva, Squarespace, this presentation, some people's contact information. Let me know if there's anything else you need. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.